Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free Valspar paint or exterior stain sample to test your look to confidently refresh your space. Offer valid in-store only 8/7 to 8/20. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken in time of purchase. See associate for details. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Where is he?
Where are you? Skull Rock. Do you know it?
Hello, this is Stacy over at the Skull Rock broadcast. I am joined by...
Hello, this is Megan. Welcome back to our Stranger Things podcast. And we're just so excited as always, but especially excited today for this new episode. And how's it going, Stacy?
It's going pretty good, my friend. What has Stacy been up to? Not a whole hell of a lot. Just enjoying these last few weeks of summer that I got. But yesterday I went on a really cool tour in Ipswich, Massachusetts. I went to Castle Hill. I kept calling it Turkey Hill, like where they make the ice cream. And my friends were like, you're an idiot. But it's this famous mansion that was used in movies like Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, Flowers in the Attic. That's why I went. And a few other like TV things. And I went and it was like a movie tour, like the Little Women, the new one that came out with Timothy Chalamet. It was filmed there, I guess. So it was like a 90-minute tour and it was great. I recommend it to anybody. But it was hot and I was fighting for my life and there was no shade. But also like the tour guide, she did a very good job. But like I'm going to do an impression of her and I say this with all the love in my heart. She sounded out of breath. And we were on flat ground and we weren't moving. But every time she was like, so the scene of Little Woman. And I was like looking at my friend's husband. And I'm like, is she okay? Like, and it just was really like irritating. And also like she was kind of getting some of her facts wrong, which like we all know Stacy.
That would bother you like no other.
Dude, she was a slow, out of breath talker too. So she was like, so the movie Flowers in the Attic came out in, and I literally almost shouted 1987, but literally I was like, I'm going to look like an asshole. So I kept it on lock, but no, it was a lovely, lovely time. But by the time I got to my car, like sweating like a whore in church, like it was bad, cranked the AC. But you'll appreciate this. When I got there first, I got there before my friends. Literally, the woman at the gate was like, okay, she gave the most simple directions on where the parking lot was because it's a huge estate. And she goes, at the fork, take a right. Literally glazed over like a donut. And I went, okay, thanks, darling. I started heading down the road and I go, where the fuck am I going? And I went down the wrong road. I ended up where horse stables were. And I was so embarrassed, like, because I had bang a Yui. That's, what Massachusetts people say when they say U-turn. And I was like, people were judging me. They were like walking the grounds and looking like, who's this guy? And I like sat in a parking lot and I'm like, I don't even know if this is the right parking lot. But like, do you ever do that? You just like, you yes the person. Like, it's like when you tell me like text stuff, I'm like, don't hear one goddamn word.
Yeah, it does happen once in a while.
But it was great. How have you been?
I've been okay. I feel like this is such a weird time of year for me because I've always worked in the summer and taught summer school, but like usually these couple weeks are like summer school's over, but school hasn't started yet. So I'm like working, but also there's like not a ton of work to do, but there's a lot of work that I could be doing. And it's like, I'm just like beating myself up over like not being super productive, but it's just like, my brain is like, you're not supposed to be working this week. Like, why are you at work? Like, so it's very strange. But I think I'll get over it soon. And I have a little bit more going on this week, which is actually like a better thing for my brain. So That's good. And we've been just, having fun with the podcast. Like,
Hell yeah.
loved the Summerween episodes, and
Summerween.
I feel like that's just going to carry us like right through into like actual spooky season, because by the time this month is over, September, I'm here for it, all the fall vibes.
I am here for the cooler weather. I'm just over the heat now. And I typically start like decorating for Halloween around my birthday, which is at the end of the month. And I'm like, I'm ready for the fall, but it's just so weird to think like it's going to be in a month or so. It's going to be the anniversary of when we met Joe, which is crazy.
I know. That's insane, actually.
Isn't that? This year flew by.
Yeah.
And then like if you think about it too, like we have the festival coming up and we have the Connecticut Joe show. And I know you got some concerts coming up.
Yeah.
Exciting.
A couple.
A couple, which just real quick, what's the name of this new artist that you discovered? Because they're talented.
Oh, yeah. So the band is called Hotel Mira. Our friend Mandy, who I actually like met in person in line at the Philly show, the Joe Philly show, she actually stumbled across a couple TikToks that the lead singer Charlie made on TikTok and sent them to me, and I've been obsessing over them ever since. The music's really cool. It's like upbeat, like indie rock, kind of like early 2000s vibe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's so fun, but then the lyrics are just very like deep and storytelling, and like it's great. So been listening to a lot of Hotel Mira and excited to see them when they are on tour in October. So along with like the festival, 3 other Joe shows, I'm going to see Hotel Mira 5 times. Which, hold on, let me like rationalize this for a second. So they're coming to Philly and DC, which are my 2 basically like cities that are driving distance for me to see a show in. Like,
so that doesn't even count.
Nobody really comes to Baltimore. Finn Wolfhard is actually coming to Baltimore, so I'm seeing him in Baltimore, which is cool. But then Mandy is in Kentucky, so she was going to go to the Nashville show, and I was like trying to figure out how I could see Hotel Mira with her, because she is the one who
introduced you.
Yeah. So we actually decided that we're going to go to the Atlanta and the Nashville shows together.
Look at you.
And then also they're playing in Brooklyn, which Juan is in Brooklyn. So it's just like, different people in all these different cities that I want to see them with.
She's like a sailor, she has a gal in every port,
That's such a good metaphor.
Yep.
But it'll be fun. And yeah, so lots of Hotel Mira, lots of Joe, Finn Wolfhard. I'm also seeing Noah Reid, who is, they're
from Schitt's Creek, right?
Patrick from Schitt's Creek? Yeah. He's so cute.
I love them, and they are really talented. So, like, that will be fun. Where are you seeing him?
Alexandria, Virginia. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, Northern Virginia. It's kind of close to DC.
Cool. There you go.
Yeah. So
well, you're a music girly, so that's going to be like a fun fall.
I'm like already exhausted thinking about it, but it'll be fun.
The life of a musical girly, and
life of a concert girly.
Concert girly. This fall too, like they're already starting to, and we'll talk about it later. They're already starting to crank out the promotional stuff and merchandise for Stranger Things, and we know, pretty soon it's going to be more promotional stuff. We'll probably start getting more trailers and seeing more press on it. So this fall is going to be pretty jam-packed. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be really busy between concerts, work, Stranger Things, season 5 promotions, like Stranger Things season 5 coming out. I don't even know. I'm already exhausted thinking about it.
You're making me exhausted. Woof.
But yeah, it'll be fun. But I love that we decided for the next couple of weeks to kind of squeeze a little bit of summer, or out of the last couple weeks of August, because I feel like this episode and then the episode like that we have planned for a couple weeks from now are both a little summer themed still.
Yeah.
Because obviously season 3 is a big summer season, like the vibes, and tell me a little bit about what we are going to be talking about today.
I thought it would be really cool because season 3, the main location, which is the new one, is Starcourt Mall. And I remember, a lot of people thought that this was such a cool location. It's so iconic. And even though it only is featured in this one season, I was like, this is kind of cool because there's that whole discussion, which I don't know how people felt about it, but I personally thought it was really cool and realistic that this Midwestern town in Indiana, I guess typically the fashions and the trends, especially back in the 80s, it was always a little behind, like when season 1 hit, you kind of saw like a lot of browns, earth tones, flannels, high-waisted pants and, denim, those kind of things. And not really the more popular trends that were hitting fashion and what people were, using for style. Like kind of like it was always the West Coast got the latest trends first. And then always like smaller towns in the Midwest, they kind of would like actually not just be months behind, they'd be a few years behind. So kind of the fashions you saw in season 1 were kind of like late 70s fashions. So I found this really cool because the 80s was the era of the indoor shopping mall. And that's when they really took off and people were like, this is so much more convenient than department stores. You had everything you needed all under one roof. And it became not only this huge, like, pop culture thing being featured in movies and like actual like musicians would come and perform at, some popular bigger malls. But it became almost like a lifestyle and like the hangout place to go. And all culture basically exploded. And when small towns like this got these kind of shopping malls, which were huge, they got the more popular, like, name brand stores. And then suddenly you would start noticing the latest fashion with the clashing colors, the patterns, the neon colors and stuff. It would suddenly be this, Midwestern town would be actually thrusted into, I said thrusted. They would be pushed into.
Yeah, either way. Yeah.
Either way, it's bad.
I was going to say, thrust, but like that's still just as bad.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to say launched. Launch is much less awkward. Yep. So they were launched into modern day trends. So I know, the heyday of the mall was in the 80s and 90s. And since Starcourt Mall is such a popular location, we get to see department stores and kind of like how a small town like this would literally, not only did it, open a lot of jobs, like I know there's the whole debate about how it was taking, local businesses away and stuff. Nancy Wheeler, you proved a good point, but it also boosted the economy in these kinds of areas. And teenagers and kids actually, like we noticed, 11, instead of kind of like wearing hand-me-downs or whatever was, given to her by Hopper, which he's a girl dad. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Baggy shirts that are maybe typically for boys and stuff. She got to bond not only with Max, but shop at popular stores like the Gap and stuff and JCPenney and be able to wear, these really, cool, loud, vibrant fashions, which you are rocking. You are actually rocking 11's
Romper. It's
Look
my
at that.
favorite.
And look at those crazy patterns. And that was what was in the 80s and 90s. So I thought today what we could talk about was not only how malls, kind of hit the scene in that decade, but also fashion trends and some of our favorite looks that were rocked throughout the seasons and why they kind of stood out to us, because the 1980s fashion, it was like no other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's fun because along with like the whole mall thing in season 3, the colors are so vibrant that season. We've talked about that, like the summer vibes, the fun fair, but like the outfits that people are wearing are so much more colorful, and it just illustrates kind of like what actually happened really well. And I feel like they put so much effort into those costume choices,
100%,
like to make it so like realistic and really feel like they're immersing you into that like decade, or that kind of just couple of years really of the 80s, because it was the mid 80s. It was 85, right?
Yeah, it was 85, and kind of like malls got really big probably around like 82, 83. And that's when you started noticing, especially on the West Coast, that these indoor shopping malls, because before they used to be strip malls or just you'd go to a department store.
Yeah.
And
just
then
like a standalone department
you had it
store.
all under one roof. That is huge, you know, and the fact that you would be reading these magazines, you know, with your favorite celebrities or musicians, and you would be able to find, you know, for reasonable prices, you know, you'd be able to duplicate their kind of like looks that was popular at the time. And I kind of have noticed like the 1980s fashion, there was the good, the bad, and the ugly, but some of it has actually hung on and kind of has come back now. Have you noticed that?
Some of it has hung on and just become like timeless in a way. Some of it carried on well into the early 90s. So I feel like a lot of it I kind of remember as a kid or like looking back at like photos of myself as a really little kid, like in those types of outfits. And then some of it has kind of like come back around for sure. So I think it's cool to kind of go through some of our like favorite looks this episode. I'm excited for this because I kind of feel like some of it definitely has kind of continued on. So yeah, I'm excited about this. I have lots of outfits picked out to talk about.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So do you want to just go back and forth?
Let's go back and forth. Let's take, you know, guys, we're going to take you for a day trip at Starcourt Mall. Let's stop at the food court first for a hot dog on a stick.
Oh, and an orange Julius.
I mean, of course. Remember when that bitch Stacy got it? It exploded in her face. She deserved it.
Okay, can I go first?
You know what? Kick this off.
I mean, I don't think that there's any question. You can't see me on video, but my favorite outfit from like the whole, you know, show is Elle's romper in season 3 that she gets while she's shopping with Max at the mall.
I love that.
I have it. It's like a Halloween costume version, but it's actually like decent quality, like from Amazon, whatever. But I know they've made like multiple iterations of this. Like there's even like pajamas that you can get. Like
that's cute.
Which I should get that because then I feel like I could like actually wear it and like lounge around the house in it. But
slumber party episode.
I just love I love the romper aspect of it because I love good romper. Those definitely came back recently.
They did, which kind of like threw me off. Probably around like 2018.
Yeah.
I started noticing a lot of rompers.
And I don't know. I just like them. They're very comfy. And we don't need to think about what Stacey's thinking about.
I think I literally said this on an early episode. I literally saw a teacher once wear one, a coworker of mine, and I didn't even know them that well. And I was like, oh, is that a romper? And they're like, yeah, it's so comfy. And I just was like, you know, I just always think how you got to take the whole thing off when you go to the bathroom. They looked fucking horrified. And in my head, I was like, was that too much? Was that too much? But yeah, I mean, you do you, but it does look comfy. And I do like the pattern. So this is the romper she rocks during the Material Girl montage when she's shopping with Max.
Yeah.
And I love that she went from, like we said, like kind of like baggy, kind of like plain looking clothes that are probably hand-me-downs that Hopper's picked out for her and probably boys' clothing. And then she finally got to wear something that was more form-fitting and it was like more fun for like a young 13-year-old. And they had these like vibrant colors and patterns that I know really lasted in the early 90s. That was really in.
For
but
sure.
I love the fun shapes and spirals on it.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
It's just so, just so fun. I don't really know how else to say it. Like, it just is, like, visually pleasing. And just along with, I think that's the most iconic one. But her shirts and outfits for the rest of the season after they go shopping are all really fun. She's got, like, the yellow one with, like, the black.
That one, yeah.
And then the blue one that has kind of, like, galaxy-type print, like,
Oh, yeah,
stars.
and she has the scrunchie that matches, yeah.
But also Max's outfits that season are very colorful. She wears like a lot of like the like rainbow stripes and stuff. And like the shirt with like the red stripes on it with like the like high-waisted like light jean shorts. Like I just think that both of them look so cute and they're like outfits that like even as a woman in her 30s, I think would be fun to wear.
I love their ketchup and mustard ponchos,
Raincoats. Yeah. Yep.
which I'm always in my head. I'm like, did they buy those that day too? Like, because Elle walks out. If you ever look, guys, you clock it. Like, the bag does not really have anything in it. Which I'm like, is her clothes that she came in, or did they just toss those? And like, I hate when people are like, well, how did she afford it? I'm like, either she has an allowance or Max is a really good friend. But I'm like, maybe they went back. Maybe they decided, you know what, we're going to get you a whole new wardrobe. And
Yeah,
I just
who
love that they
knows?
had
Right.
the matching accessories. And I love Max's like red sunglasses, like just really fun outfits that kind of like popped
Yeah. And the
versus what they've
glamour
worn before.
shots.
The glamour shots, I'm sorry. So my sister got glamour shots done. I need to track these down and use them as blackmail. She got a perm for the glamour shot.
I
and it
mean,
was like,
you have to, I think.
you had to. And I remember it was like 97. And even then I was like, this is a bad idea. And my mom was all for it. And like, it is some cringy ass shit. She wore like a Tweety Bird like silk vest, which I'm like, where did that go? That was a look.
Yeah.
And I remember I went, you fucking permed your hair, dude. She's like, yeah. And my mom always said, she was like, don't worry, Stacey, when you're a teenager, you can get them done. And she offered. Imagine this with a perm. And I went, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I like, looking back, I'm like, it would have been funny to joke about. But everybody has those photo shoots at Sears or glamour shots where you're doing the poses, but I love them dressed up in the whole like shake it off and using the accessories. It's so goddamn funny because you either know somebody got them done or got them done yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just classic, iconic. So basically, my first pick is Elle's romper, but like honorable mentions to all of Elle and Max's looks in season 3. So that's kind of
I
a
love
blanket statement there.
That was wise. So my pick is actually a season 3 pick, and you and I right away was like, that's actually a look. It was Karen Wheeler's turquoise and pink bathing suit.
Yes.
Because the Hawkins Community Pool, that's another new location we're introduced to. And it's a location that this character's at several times. And I kind of like, that the Housewives of Hawkins, that could be a reality show, they all have kind of like, brighter bathing suits and stuff that probably were purchased at the mall. And the character of Karen Wheeler, like, she's such an icon. And like, I really do like that you see kind of like her style change throughout the seasons. And I believe it was the costume designer in the makeup department. They talked about how Nancy's hair even looked a little different in season 4. And if you notice, Karen's hair is suddenly very like bleach blonde. And it looks like they actually got perms. And they said probably like, being in the Midwest, being kind of like middle class, they probably went to the salon and got them done together, but now it's almost like 6 months later. So she's kept up with her perm, clearly, Karen. Nancy, not so much. But I always really liked her style throughout the seasons. And like, she already looks like in some of the photos that have come out officially, some of her looks look already iconic. But the bathing suit, something about the pearl necklace, and then the waterproof matching eye makeup, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And just shout out to our friend Kat, because at the Upside Down Con, to meet Cara Buono, who played Karen, she somehow found this like vintage top that was like two-tone, that was like the exact same colors as that bathing suit. And I was just
amazing,
like obsessed with that. Like,
remember she had the pearl necklace too, and her
Yeah.
glasses matched. We're like, you're an icon.
yeah. I like want that outfit. Like,
So cute. And it's like those kind of like bright colors, like I know aqua and turquoise, those were really big along with the neon pink. So
yeah.
I just think it was such a fun look for her. And like we said, whatever that eye makeup is, man, eat your heart out, cover girl, because that was waterproof.
I'm pretty proud of my next pick. Okay.
Oh, yeah?
So I know that you hate this character, but as a style icon, Angela, like
Yeah, I know.
So this connects to what you were saying about the West Coast having these styles so much sooner, because we go out there to California, and these are things that I do remember in the 90s. So these bright colors with the acid wash denim was what stuck out to me the most. So like at the roller rink, Angela's jacket is like
it's acid wash
denim, like a pink collar, but like all of her friends are also wearing acid wash denim. And then even at school, she's wearing like acid wash skirt, and her like friend, whatever his name is like wearing these really cool acid wash jeans. Like, so just basically that acid wash look, specifically Angela's outfit at the roller rink, is like
that's a really good pick. I mean, I hate that girl. May she eat that skate forever and always. But perfect example of California, the West Coast fashion, and you can tell this is like the popular clique. And that those looks, like I always notice she has shimmer tights on. They look almost like flesh tone, but they're shimmer tights that she's wearing at the roller rink. And that was really in when you would wear the leg warmers, because Flashdance had come out and everybody wanted to look like they were jazzercising and doing aerobics. So there was the cut-off collared shirts and the multiple layers, but the acid wash jacket, that's a really, really good pick. I hate her, but good pick.
Yeah, actually, the outfit that she's wearing underneath of the acid wash, it's very jazzercise. Like, it looks like a workout outfit almost, but like, yeah, it's just like it's a whole look, man. Like,
man, I still rock leg warmers, as you know, and I remember I've been stopped before by like, slightly older coworkers, and they're like, "Are you wearing shimmery leg warmers?" And it's literally like June, and I'm like, yeah, it's 1983 up in here, and they don't know what to respond to with that. But no, I definitely did like some of the looks, especially at the roller rink, because you got to see the California fashions. But that her little minion, her friend who like records the whole thing, and he's like more like diarrhea. He's a little shit, but no, he dressed very nice too.
Yeah. I mean, like those characters were awful to Elle, obviously, but like that,
the hell of a dressers.
Yeah, the style and like the style of like the whole roller rink scene, like that reminds me. I think that's the closest you get to like the mall, but in season 4, like those like colors. So,
and if you were somebody like our age, like, roller rinks were actually really big in the 90s still, and that was like another big hangout. So of course you would wear, the latest thing you picked up at the mall at the roller rink. Yeah. Now, mind you, I would be holding onto the wall, crying and sniffling.
Oh yeah,
trying to get to the snack shack. But the people that were into it, they made a look out of it. My sister had a British shirt like Ginger Spice from the Spice Girls, and that was her roller skate outfit. She'd wear that fucking British flag outfit every time we went, and she thought she was hot shit as she's like skating to like Sandstorm at like 90 miles per hour, and I'm like, I can't even shuffle to the bathroom wearing my skates, and I'm like, what the hell? But it's true. So fire pick, Megan, fire.
Thank you. I was pretty proud of that.
That's good.
All right, what's your next one?
So my next one is this person may be mentioned twice on my list.
That's okay.
But, Mr. Style icon himself, Steve Harrington, he rocks. Now, he wears, like, kind of different variations of it, but bomber jackets and members-only jackets were very, very big in the 80s, especially members-only. It was, kind of the more expensive one, and the Steve Harrington character is supposed to be kind of wealthy, and he wears, like, a navy blue one in season 1, and then he kind of has more of a bomber-style one, which is a light gray one, which looks a little baggier in season 4. But in season 2, we get the iconic look of the Levi jeans or the Guess jeans with the members-only gray jacket, and this one's a little more form-fitting, with the Ray-Ban sunglasses and the dish gloves. Such a look. And I really liked his members-only jacket in season 2 just because it looked so good, especially with the collar popped up and with the sunglasses. It just, like, I love that he kept his sunglasses from his Halloween costume. And just especially the junkyard scene, it's just such, like, if you're not dressed as Scoop Steve, you're dressed as members-only, Steve. It's just such a look, and he really rocks the hell out of a members-only jacket, but I really like that we got kind of different variations, that he obviously owns more than one jacket, but the gray or like silver-colored one from season 2, top favorite.
Yeah. So I'll move a couple of mine around because this was one of mine too. So completely agree that that's his like most iconic look, especially with like the yellow gloves.
Perfect.
But another time that he wears that jacket that I want to point out is in season 3. The one time when he's wearing his work uniform, but they go outside and it's raining, he has that jacket on over his work uniform.
I never clocked that until you pointed it out when we did our rewatch. Yep.
Yeah. So that I think was so clever of them to like include, because it was like he basically had to wear this stupid Scoops Ahoy work uniform the whole season. But that one like episode, I think it might have been 2 episodes because it was like the end of one episode and the beginning of the other episode when they are outside on the roof and it's raining, and then they come inside in the next episode, like he's got that same jacket from season 2 on over his uniform, which I thought was really clever. So
not the best for, being against the weather, Mr. Harrington, but you know what?
Better than nothing. Yeah.
Better than nothing. The last thing you need is to catch pneumonia. So, no, I do love that you clocked that. That was so clever. And a nice little, like, Easter egg for people that would pick up on that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. My next one is actually now I would have to definitely ask like somebody who's more of an expert. I think they're different, but they're definitely the same style. I liked Nancy's blouse that, she tells Jonathan, her and Barb spent a whole weekend, trying to pick out. And it's the shirt, it's almost like a burgundy or maroon color with like either navy blue or black stripes, pin like stripes. And it's this really cute blouse that looks great on her. She rocks it at the pool party where she's, down in the beers and, getting a piece of that ass.
Yeah.
But it's this really cute blouse that I've always really liked. And I had a very similar blouse in high school that I think I still have in my closet. But I would always be like, that's so Nancy Wheeler coded. And I really liked it because they kind of have dressed her, and I say this in the nicest way possible, a little matronly, and it's kind of showing that she's a good girl and stuff, and that's why, usually by the end of each season, she's a badass with her hair back and, a freaking gun in her hand. But I've always liked her looks, but I noticed in season 3, she wears a blouse, and it's the one that she wears, throughout a few episodes when she's calling about all the people who have been missing chemicals in Hop's cabin to the very end at Starcourt. And it's very similar style. I don't know if it was meant to be the same blouse or if it is, but I do like that pattern on her because she's very petite, and it's a very nice mix of colors, and it looks so good on her. But, I really have always liked that. I loved her sweater in season 4 that she rips the hem of it, because that's also blue and cream colored, and it's striped, and she helps, wrap Steve's, his wounds with it. But she looks really good in stripes. But I did notice one thing that I always thought was cool: her cream colored boots, which have a bit of a heel because she is very short. It's the ones that Jonathan pulls off her when he puts her to bed when she's white girl wasted in season 2. She rocks the same exact boot, which I'm like, how clever again. In season 4, and you see a close-up of the boots when she's under her Vecna spell and she's running, trying to get through the door. So I've always really liked those looks, the striped blouses and her cream-colored boots. I'm like, Nancy Wheeler, you're a badass.
Yeah. I don't have any Nancy outfits on my list, but I definitely agree with you there, and I feel like she has some really interesting looks going on. And then obviously when she dresses Robin and they go to Penhurst, that's an iconic duo look for the two of them. But yeah, definitely a good pick. Okay, so my next one is, I like color.
You do.
And so I had to shout out this. And also this is again something that I think is so kind of timeless and from the 80s but has never really gone away, and it's the graphic tees that Dustin wears.
He does rock a lot of those.
He has so many graphic tees. So if I had to pick a favorite, I mean, it's got to be the roast beef one.
Thank you. the fact that Steve calls him roast beef when he's like, hope you're in shape, roast beef. And
Yeah.
I love that they sold that at Target. I wish I would have gotten it. It's so good.
Yeah, because it's like a cow sunbathing. Like, so stupid. But like some other really good ones are like, I mean, his camp shirt, like that's like
Yes.
actually like a shirt that he got at camp, I'm sure. But it
Camp
was
Know Nothing.
very like, I think it's Camp Nowhere.
It is, but Steve calls it Know Nothing. And he's like, it's actually, we literally just had a Steve and Dustin exchange. It's actually Camp Nowhere. Get it right.
Yeah, we totally planned that.
Yeah, we did.
But the one that says bite off, BYT.
Yes.
I think that's season 4, right?
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
love that he always has hats that match, too.
yeah, the hats are like make it to another level, but specifically I like the shirts. And then when he wears that denim vest over the
Yes.
the
So cute.
the roast beef shirt, like that, it's very Dustin, very cute.
Yeah.
Even like this is kind of like not actually a graphic tee, but I do like Dustin's like shirt that he wears over his Hellfire shirt in the beginning of
Yes.
season 4 too, just because it's so bright and colorful and like very Dustin, like, and so he kind of like styles his Hellfire shirt with that. Like it's
When I first met you, you were wearing a Weird Al shirt, which I thought was brave.
yeah, exactly.
Says it all.
Like Dustin is a style icon, like
He
very
really is.
underrated style icon. Like, and he always contrasts so well with his friends with their like boring clothes. Like
Yeah.
Mike was wearing whatever his mom bought him at the Gap, right?
Exactly. Snooze fest. Meanwhile, Dustin's like, oh no, I'm setting some fashion trends.
Yeah, yeah. So Dustin's outfits, specifically the roast beef with the denim
Roast
vest.
beef. Iconic. I
Yeah.
mean, coming in clutch, girl. I love that roast beef shirt. That was a really good one, which I'm kind of glad we were like talking, quoting Mr. Eddie Munson, because I have to say, even though this is a season 4 pick, I really do love this outfit of Eddie Munson because he basically wears the same outfit throughout the whole series. And it became so iconic that like everybody that season, season of Halloween in 2022, everybody dressed as Eddie Munson. And we'll get more into it when we talk about during our Eddie Munson episode. But
Ooh,
like
spoiler
literally,
alert that we're doing a
spoiler
Eddie
alert.
Munson episode.
We might have an Eddie Munson episode coming up. Wink, wink. But I remember like literally everybody, myself included, dressed as Eddie. People were cosplaying as Eddie. Robert Downey Jr. and his entire family dressed up as Eddie Munson, which I love that everybody...
I wore a Hellfire shirt on Halloween that year. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Like, and I remember seeing like there was a teased photo, I think it was during the pandemic, of Dayton and he's wearing a Hellfire shirt. And, people either were like, oh, what's this? And if it's an X-Men thing. And literally the Hellfire shirt, I think, like, you couldn't go 2 feet in the summer of 2022 without seeing somebody rocking the Hellfire shirt. And I have one from the Netflix shop, and then I have like a knockoff one because I'm a slob and I get stuff on white clothing. But I would always be tickled pink whenever I saw any of my students rocking a Hellfire shirt. I never wore one because, it says hell. Like, you don't want to be that guy. But I just loved the look of it, of the baseball tee. And I love that, you're meant to believe that probably Eddie designed these or somebody from the Hellfire group designed them. And it's homemade and that it's almost like they wear it as this badge of honor on Fridays when they have their D&D sessions. But he definitely dressed like a metalhead back in the 80s who kind of had limited resources. A lot of it was homemade. So he had the, Levi jeans. I believe he had... I want to say he had Nikes. They're either Nikes or Adidas. I'll have to look, but they're
Adidas,
the white shoe.
I think.
Adidas.
I think.
The white shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and me are like, yeah, sure. The white sneakers. And I love that he had like the handcuff belt buckle.
Mhm.
That's iconic. And that you see like, and the costume designer did all these little things that like you wouldn't notice at first, but like that he's altered the zippers of his leather jacket. That man can wear the hell out of a leather jacket. And then the battle vest, of course, which looked iconic on him and on Steve Harrington with the Dio, homemade t-shirt patch on the back. And then all these little pins of the music that he liked. And he had patches and stuff, Let It Be from Wasp or, Quiet Riot, Metallica. And I just loved the look right down to, his jewelry, his big, gaudy rings that, Hot Topic didn't, exist back then, but probably in like a tattoo or a biker shop you could get. And he definitely stuck to his own style because that's how metalheads dressed back then. But the battle vest, particularly with the leather jacket and the Hellfire shirt, I really liked. And I liked how Dustin, like you said, he kind of paired his with those other shirts. And I like that Mike you can tell his hair is kind of being grown out and he's rocking it. It's almost like they're kind of modeling themselves, trying to dress like Eddie, who's clearly their hero. And it's just so cute. And I just really, really liked that style because it's when you see Joseph Quinn in real life, he's complete opposite of Eddie Munson. So it's just really such an iconic look. And it's just such a cool thing to dress up as, let it be for a Halloween party or a cosplay. So definitely Eddie Munson's season 4 look.
Yeah. So that was mine too. That was my last pick. But luckily I have a little bonus pick that I can talk about. But totally agree with everything you said about Eddie's look. Down to the vest looked just as good on Steve, so if not better. So I loved that, just the fact that it was such an iconic outfit. He literally wore the Hellfire shirt the whole season. And down to even when he's dressed for battle, that's still underneath all of it. But then the different layers kind of came off as he gave the vest to Steve, and then he just had the jacket on. And yeah, so it was very well kind of planned out with the wardrobe there.
Did you like how he had, how he had the black skull handkerchief in his back pocket and then he wore it during his battle look scene? I always liked that they did that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. So since you stole my last one, I will talk about my bonus honorable mention, which is I love to bring up the season 3 new Coke promo when Steve goes to the movie theater. So Steve's white and red jacket in that is just fantastic. And
it's so good.
It's so funny in that because he gives, I think Dustin is, I can't remember what shirt Dustin is wearing. If he's wearing the roast beef shirt or if he's wearing a different shirt, but he's got his denim vest on, and Steve gives him shit for wearing a
nice
denim vest. And then he ends up wearing Eddie's denim vest in season 4, which I thought was hilarious.
Houses. That's such a good look. And I love that that wouldn't be something you would typically think of, but such an iconic look. And they reserved that. They stuck for, the big guns, new Coke. But I love that it's this gray, silver, white look. And he rocks the hell out of it. That man could wear a potato sack and he'd look good. But I think that's a really out of left field pick, but he looks so goddamn good.
Yeah, he looks so good. And it's cool because it's such a unique sort of
He's just a Coke can.
Yeah, it looks like Coke with the red, right? And a lot of people haven't seen that. Every time I share it on social media, I always get people where did this come from? So it's just funny that, I like that look of his.
He looks sensational.
It's a little obscure. Do you remember that reel? I have to reshare it.
The one that you please reshare it where it's
the audio,
what's your favorite Pop-Tart? Yes. And then the whole look it up. I was right away, I'm Megan, I love you because this is perfect.
Yeah, I'll have to reshare the what's your favorite Pop-Tart reel.
Please do. It was perfect because I'm Well, speaking of my favorite Pop-Tart and, iconic kind of looks of Steve Harrington, I bet you were going to guess this one.
Yeah.
I have to say, so in season 3, besides the Scoops Ahoy outfit, we only see Robin and Steve in another costume in their last scene featured in the last episode when they interview for Family Video. And I will literally be talking about this look till the day I die. I got a custom pop by In the Dark Customs, literally of this look because I love it so much. And it's I thought it was a bubble vest, but I did a little more research. That's actually a denim vest. It's just red and blue.
Oh.
And it's which threw me off. I was like, really? And you can buy it? It's like for $100, but like it's obviously a knockoff. But I'm like, that's a hell of a look. So I love how Robin looks, but Steve is like really the star. He's a star, baby. And it's him wearing this like white t-shirt, which has like, the stripes. I believe they're like yellow and red on the sleeves. But the vest is what makes the outfit, and knowing that it's denim makes it so much cooler. It's like, the front of it's blue and the back's red, and it's got these different zippers and stuff. And it's very Marty McFly-esque, and it just looks so good. And just seeing him and Robin like look more casual and not dressed as fucking sailors. But I just really have always liked those colors on him. The man can rock the hell out of the color of red and blue. But I've just always really liked that style. And, I'm like, oh, man. It was so powerful and it looked so good. They knew they could only feature it in one scene. But absolutely love that look on him.
Yeah. Fantastic. Great pick. Love this list.
I'm telling you, and that's the cool thing. Like, obviously the costume department, we've seen behind the scenes things. It's a warehouse, and that these people find actual clothing, vintage clothing from that time period. And they always do such a great job with whatever was like kind of like hitting at the time, what was fashionable. I like that Elle kind of almost resembles Joyce in that first opening scene in season 4. She's wearing like the strawberry, like, picking whatever festival shirt, and she's wearing the flannel and her hair kind of looks like Joyce. It makes sense, because this is how people would dress, right down to the Ghostbusters outfits. Everybody gave, that episode shit, but I had a Ghostbusters jumpsuit as a kid, but I liked that Will's was homemade because they don't have as much money, so Joyce like made the patches, and that his, jumpsuit, the color is more brown versus, gray. It's these little details down to Lucas's bandana that he rocks in season 3. These little like nods to what was popular or trending that they do such a good job. And that's why I kind of like, from what I saw in the trailer for season 5, it looks like we're kind of going back, as the Duffer said, to more season 1 vibes. And already like kind of like the dark reds and blues and browns. I think that's going to be a big style that's going on.
Yeah,
but
like the earth tones.
The earth tones.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I'm a big fan of that sweater that Steve is wearing in the trailer. It's like it looks very cozy, and it's so funny because I was like actually surprised when we got the trailer because there was that photo of like Joe Keery, I think it's like Maya, Finn, and Charlie, like at the end of like when they wrapped filming. And I thought that they were just kind of like hanging out together.
Those
but then
were costumes, yeah.
You realize that they were actually in costume because you see the trailer and Joe has that sweater on as Steve with like that brown jacket over top of it. So it's just going to be really interesting to see. And then I think also that like sort of like maroon, but like, that sweatshirt that he's also wearing in like a lot of the season 5 stuff that I'm not sure if like the sleeves come off or because like, remember I was having the theory that like the sleeves are not actually like removable. They were just using that because like it was so hot when they were filming. Like,
yeah, when him and Maya did that behind the scenes thing. Yeah,
so
I remember that.
So fascinated to see like because there was also scenes of like Finn riding a bike with like a sleeveless shirt, and we were so confused because we were like, it's not supposed to be summer, like
it's supposed to take place like fall or winter of 87. So like I think we're going to see a lot of like vest and multiple layers like we did in season 1. But yeah, there's definitely like, we've already seen images of Gaten, like his hairstyle's longer again, trying to mirror Eddie, still rocking maybe out of protest the Hellfire shirt.
Yeah.
But even Elle, like right down to the bandana and like the navy blue gym shorts over the sweats.
What's that look supposed to be kind of like reminiscent of? Like somebody...
Steve wearing the bandana, the red one, over his mouth in season 2.
Yeah, but I feel like it's also, somebody pointed out that it was like very similar to an 80s like movie. I'll have to think of it. But like that she looked like a character in some movie from the 80s.
Oh, she looks like Josh Brolin in The Goonies.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
I've always wanted to do that as a Halloween costume. So,
Yes. With the gym
she-
shorts over the pants. Yes.
It's literally like, it's so on the nose. It's like Dustin's look in his battle gear for season 4 with the gray hood on and stuff and the like tie around it. That's how Patrick Swayze dressed in Red Dawn. Like, it's such a
Also,
you know,
the
Easter egg.
beret for
beret.
like Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Right?
Yep.
And Lucas is like very Lost Boys in season 1 too, isn't he? Like when he gets
Yep.
ready to like go out on his own. Yeah. That's cool. I love those connections.
So I can't wait to see, like, what are we going to get? Because, of course, they're going to be made into pops. But, you know, right down to Elle's pink dress and, you know, wig in season 1. Like, so many of these looks are so iconic. They make great costumes and cosplays. So I'm interested to see what they have in store for season 5.
Yeah. Speaking of season 5, are there any other like kind of updates that we've gotten? It looked like, I think Ross shared that they're done with like the first 2 episodes.
I believe that they're done with posts now, which means, you know, they did all the ADR and the looping and stuff. So I think with editing and stuff, they're in the can, which is incredible.
Crazy. I mean,
Just seeing the title to The Crawl, I'm like, buckle up.
yep. Yeah.
And I know that, and we'll get to it in just a second, but there's a lot of merchandise coming out. And I just feel like it's going to start coming in fast and furious.
I know. I'm not even ready. But
I heard that already the Chips Ahoy has like hit Walmarts, but since I'm more on the East Coast, we're typically the last ones to get it. It always hits like the fashion trends. So people are like, run. And they just announced that CVS and, you know, some beauty line is
Sally
now doing
Hansen. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't even wear nail polish, but I'm like, I need it. So I think it's going to start happening quicker than we think. And because it is coming up. But yeah, I'm really glad we were able to kind of like chat about this because like we took a second to honor season 3. But, you know, the 1980s fashions, like we said, there were people like Michael Jackson and Madonna, you know, with the lace, you know, gloves or the one glove, you know, military style fashions, you know, flash dance with the aerobics, acid wash jeans. There were the punks, the preps, you know, polo shirts, lacrosse. There were just a lot of different looks and trends that, like you said, are kind of big now. But I think the people who work on these productions, like, they really make sure that people who lived through those decades or remember it, they know that there are those little Easter eggs and these iconic looks. And I have a feeling there's going to be some that we're not prepared for that are either going to make incredible pops or incredible costumes.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling we're going to start seeing more either with advertisements or possibly more trailers. Who knows? As somebody who grew up in the 90s, that was the place to go. You would go to hang out with your friends at the mall. And usually you were broke as shit, but you were just walking around being silly, you know. And definitely malls. It's sadly with online shopping and Amazon, they have kind of gone the way of the dodo. I still have a big mall up in New Hampshire. It's kind of nice because it's tax free. But I went recently. Remember, I told you I was so bored. I like went for a pretzel and to get my like ears pierced. Like, what am I, 12?
Sounds great.
It was a great day. But literally, I walked around. There are still some very popular stores, but just knowing that, like, right away, I went, there's no more JCPenney. And they're like, no, and there's no more Sears. Like, those are gone. These iconic department stores that were huge, but online shopping has kind of, like, taken over. So, yeah, there's still active malls that are popular, but they're not as popular as they once were. And I think in the 80s, it was just everything you need under one roof, no matter where the location was. And they just became such a iconic hangout because they were restaurants and arcades and movie theaters. So movies like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Clueless, Commando, Chopping Mall, they were places where Valley Girl especially, it was where you would go and hang with your friends and flirt with people and, you know, get the latest outfits. But were you a big mall girly growing up?
Yeah, like we have one bigger mall, not big, but like that's closer to where I live now, and it's still open and everything, but it's just like empty whenever you go there. Like, and then there was a smaller mall that was closer to where I lived, but like both of those places were very big, like hangouts. Like there was like the one mall that was kind of closer to me that was a little smaller. They would even have like concerts and like teen hangout nights.
That's
like when I was
cool.
a kid. Like, yeah, so it was definitely like the place to go. Like it was whenever I had like, you know, spare change or like allowance money, I like wanted to go to Claire's and like
Of
buy
course.
jewelry and
Yep.
like fun little accessories. Like, so yeah. And I mean, that was like where we would go to shop, you know, like for like back to school shopping. Even up until like college, like American Eagle
Yeah.
was like, you know, huge. Like, and that was in the
What
mall.
was like some of your favorite stores to go to? Because I remember there was Claire's and Afterthoughts. That was like the sister store.
Yeah.
I was a big Hot Topic girly. What did you like to go
Yeah, I
to?
wasn't really a Hot Topic person.
No shit.
Hot Topic and Spencer's like scared the shit out of me. But I feel like I've gone to Hot Topic more the past few years to get like Stranger Things stuff than
Hello.
I ever
Yeah.
did as a kid. But yeah, definitely Claire's. We had like Aeropostale.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And American Eagle. Like we would just go to Macy's.
Mhm.
Yeah, I maybe like Sam Goody, like and look at the CDs, like
Sam Goody. That was before
Yeah.
FYE or any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
We had Suncoast Video and Sam Goody. I
Yeah.
worked at Suncoast Video. It was my first job ever. So imagine me as the greeter. I was scaring people. Yeah, I'm like, I don't need the computer to look it up. So yeah.
yeah,
But that you either worked at the mall or you hung out at the mall, right? It was
Mhm.
like that for you?
yeah, for sure.
Man, where was fucking Scoops Ahoy with that man working there when I was a teenager? Where was that?
I know. What was your favorite like food court thing to eat?
I am a big Pretzel Time girl. I know it's like
Okay.
Auntie M's or whatever it's
Aunt-
called.
Aunt. What is it?
Yeah,
Something Annie's. I don't
Annie's
know.
pretzels?
Aunt Annie's. Is it Aunt Annie's?
I think it is.
Hold
Watch,
on.
we're so wrong. People are
Googling it.
screaming right now.
Aunt,
But our pretzel place was Pretzel Time, and
it's Aunt
man,
Annie's. I feel like I've
Aunt
never
Annie's.
said that out loud.
Yeah, I still call it Pretzel Time. That's bad, but literally, like nothing would go down better than a friggin' soft pretzel. What about you?
So pizza for sure.
Hell yeah!
We also had a Chick-fil-A in the mall.
In the mall, wow.
Yeah, it was actually the only one around for a long time, which I don't eat Chick-fil-A anymore, really. Like, A, I don't really eat meat, so they don't have that many options, and B, I don't really like supporting them as a company. Nope. But the chicken nuggets as a kid, like that was like something that we would eat at the mall. When I got older, do you have like that Bourbon Street chicken ever?
Yes,
Like
it's good.
that's so good. And then the other thing, Cinnabon. There was a Cinnabon in our mall.
Cinnabon. Oh my god,
too.
you just want to stand by it like a creep and
Yes.
sniff the air.
Yeah. So like Chick-fil-A chicken
Ooh.
nuggets and Cinnabon was like the two things that like you could only get at the
At
mall.
the mall.
Yeah.
Food court food. When I went to visit the Dawn of the Dead Mall in Pittsburgh, it had 3 floors worth of food court. Guys, literally, I acted like I was seeing one of the wonders of the world. I went, guys, they have an indoor Dairy Queen. There are so many options. And they're like, calm the fuck down, Stacey.
Yeah.
But I find it funny because I guess that used to be an ice skating rink, which I'm like, only, like back in the 70s, I'm like, only a mall would have like a movie theater or an ice skating rink. And I guess in New Hampshire, where the Sears used to be, there's now a casino. And I'm
Oh,
like,
bummer.
ew. But I'm like, only in New Hampshire that would happen. But
yeah.
malls, definitely, it was, what a glorious time. And I think that was so clever of them to make that such a, huge location in season 3, because mid-'80s, like, literally everything was at the mall. That was the place to be. But now, but I say this as I order stuff on Amazon, and I'm like, Prime delivery, it's not coming until tomorrow, not tonight.
Right.
Unacceptable. So what the hell?
I know, it's so bad. Yeah, but that was super fun to reminisce about season 3 and just about malls in general. We were thinking about calling this episode Mall Madness. So
Like the board
do you want to
game.
shout out the board game? Do you have any
I do.
interesting facts about that?
I used to have, so our friend Brandy is a huge collector for both 80s and 90s stuff. She has like her original like Dream Date or Dream Phone, Girl Talk, and then she had Mall Madness. And I always make jokes that like me and Megan are going to break in and she's going to find us playing Mall Madness. I had that board game with Alexis because the Dream Date or Girl Talk, the one that came with the plastic phone, I'd always get the loser boyfriend that wanted to hang out at the yogurt shop. Man, that was a prediction of the future. Just fuck boys at the yogurt shop. But I loved Mall Madness because you were like, well, where are we going to go? Are we going to, go, to the food court? Are we going to hang out at, the clothing store? Where are we going to go? So much fun that I hope they do like a revamped version of it because I would buy the shit out of that.
That would be super fun. I wonder when it originally came out, I'm going to look it up.
Fact check for us.
1989?
Valley,
maybe?
89? That tracks. We should have talked like Valley Girls this whole episode. Like, oh my God, I love Mall Madness.
It was originally released by Milton Bradley in 1988.
Oh, great year.
Yeah. Yep.
Legends were born. Me and Mall Madness.
You and Mall Madness.
Man, Stacey Madness.
Oh, that's so funny. All right. Well, this was fun. I guess we can wrap it up.
Trying to think, like I said, we've already touched upon merch. There's a lot of cool, food tie-in products that are going to be coming in really soon. Thank you for giving me my VIP package for
Joe. Your Joe VIP, finally. You own it.
So cute. Just been really next episode, I'll definitely make a list of what I've been getting recently because I want to properly shout out the right businesses. But, I'm just really looking for, I cannot wait. We're going to have Haley on again. Like, when the pops hit, I told myself, I can only allow myself to get Steve and Robin pops, because if not, they're going to outnumber me.
Yeah.
And they're going to come alive and eat me in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, because I've already started to expand beyond Steve and Robin, and oof.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have her in her romper as a pop?
Mm-hmm. I have the blacklight version and the regular one. Yeah.
Remember, I tried to surprise you. I went, look what I got you. And you're like, I own it. And then I'm like, I had a backup one. I'm like, well, what about this one? You're like, I own that one too. And I'm like, I'm going to go get my ears pierced because I'm at the mall.
I think you gave me one I didn't have, the blacklight Demogorgon.
Demogorgon, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that was thanks to a trip to the mall.
Because I have a lot of the blacklight ones. Like I have blacklight Eddie, blacklight Elle, blacklight Vecna. I don't think I have blacklight Justin yet, actually.
Okay, so you're a blacklight girly. All right, good
yeah,
show.
I like the blacklight ones. The blacklight Steve and Robin, I have 2 of those somehow. Might have to do a giveaway.
As you put on Dark Side of the Moon, you get trippy with your dog. Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, so it's fun. All right, well, I guess that's it.
Guys. We're going to go to pretzel time and get a soft pretzel. But
Cinnabon for me. Or the cinnamon pretzels are really good.
Cinnamon pretzel. Oh, girl, talk about language. All right, before we get too zany, so stay tuned, guys. Where can they find us?
You can find us on social media, pretty much anywhere, but most active on Instagram. It's at Skull Rock Broadcast, and I'm at Steady Stories. Stacy is at Stay Still Reviews. So just make sure to hang out with us there. You can also find us on Patreon. If you have noticed, there are some advertisements in our show now, but pretty soon we are going to be putting the ad-free episodes on Patreon, probably shooting for October to start doing that.
And speaking of Patreon, also, I know we are going to be sending out some stuff pretty soon, and I actually have some cool content that we're hoping to tackle probably this fall that will only be available for our Patreon members.
Yeah, so lots of fun stuff going on over at Patreon, so make sure you hang out with us there as well. And then wherever you're listening to us, make sure that you subscribe or follow the podcast and maybe leave us a rating or a review, because that always makes our day. So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, until next time, over and out.
Over and out.
Eddie.
I'm not sure I love the idea of you driving.
Well, I'm starting to suffer. Harrington's got it. That's your big boy.
And we are back. So
We're back.
It's been a long time. Neither one of us can even remember the last time we did a secret segment. So if we're talking about things that we've already talked about, sorry.
Forgive us.
Because I'm like, wait, have I talked about that? Like, and it's funny because I know some of this stuff I read like around my birthday, which was the end of June, but I'm pretty sure that we really haven't done a secret segment since then.
It's been a while,
Yeah. And I haven't been reading a lot, but there's like a few things I can talk about for sure. And if you don't know what our secret segment is, this is our secret study segment. We talk about fan fiction. So if that's not for you, it's your cue to peace out. But yeah, no big deal if you don't want to listen. But if you want to hear about what we've been reading, mostly Steady, which is Steve Harrington and Eddie Munson. Yeah, so what do you have for us?
So I like, you reminded me, you were like, you know, where are you with Scorpio Skies? And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I downloaded that whole thing and I'm like, I really got to catch up. So I have to, you know, get better about reading that, which I think I'm going to do today. Because I literally have the time. I'm just being...
I think in the past, like, you felt like you were going through it too quickly and you wanted to slow down.
Now I've like completely stopped. I'm like, Stacey, find the balance. I know that they've updated with Prism, and I maybe am a chapter or two behind with that, but that's, you know, a really heavy fix. So I was like, either I gotta catch up on that or this one, but definitely have some reading to do with that. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, I've just been reading like smutty one-shots because that's where I am mentally.
Some Johnny Storm smut, maybe.
Oh, girl. There was literally one, guys, that, like, let's just say when he reached completion, I'm going to be a lady, he caught fire. But
you told me about this.
He was screwing a normal human being. And I'm like, is that girl okay? Is she in the burn unit? Like, did he commit murder? So, of course, I, like, immediately had to text Megan. I'm like, check this shit out. But no, I read one that was devastating yesterday. It was not like, I found it. Usually I'm never on Twitter, but someone was like, well, I just got my soul crushed. So I followed the link. And
Is it not a happy ending?
It's bittersweet.
I can't do it. I can't.
You're not going to read it, so I'll just spoil it. But it was just one chapter, one shot, and it was called Yours is the First Face That I Saw, and it's by Place the Ring. They're a talented author. And it's basically platonic, you know, Steve and Robin, and, you know, she eventually ends up with Nancy and he ends up with Eddie. They're cute. But it talks about how, you know, they became best friends right after Starcourt. And she started noticing, because they, like, before they go to Finley Video, they, like, work at a coffee shop, how he really cannot see. Like, it's bad, you know, that he, you know, they're starting to, like, get some close calls while driving, and his migraines are getting worse. So she finally is like, Steve, like, clearly you need glasses. So she goes with him and they pick out frames and stuff. And he's like, you know, I know it's stupid, but I'm so subconscious and stuff. And she's like, you look fine. But then he starts, like, forgetting his glasses all the time. So she literally, like, doesn't think anything of it. And she uses her money to get him a spare pair. And she always has it on her when he forgets. And it's really sweet. And it talks about how, like, you know, they end up, you know, going away to college and moving in together shortly in San Francisco. And how she ends up with Nancy and they move away and he's with Eddie and they fix up a house. And it's like, it keeps, you know, time skipping and stuff. And then literally I'm like, this is so sweet. And then it's around the time they're in their late 30s. Eddie calls Robin and goes, he didn't wake up. And I'm like, literally, I go, what? And he goes, they said it was something like an aneurysm. He didn't wake up. I'm so sorry, he's gone. And I'm literally like, I stopped and I looked at Quinn and I went, what the fuck is this? And then literally it's like, and they said that, like, the scene from My Girl inspired them, but she shows up and, like, they're having the viewing at the house that they fixed up in San Francisco, which, man, property taxes. And literally she shows up with Nancy and, like, the casket's there and she immediately starts freaking out going, where are his glasses? he needs his glasses. And like I would typically like awkwardly laugh at
Is
that.
that
but
from a movie?
It's from My Girl.
Okay.
With little Macaulay Culkin. He can't see without his glasses.
Yeah.
Heart-wrenching. If you know,
Yeah.
you know. And poor Eddie like has to wrap his arms around Robin and bring her into the guest room, which there's just this beautiful line where she remembers the guest room was like for her, and that like Steve and her painted the walls like a canary yellow, and he was like, you know, anytime you want to come and visit or you want to come back home, you have a place. And even though like that they even tried to like, you know, she tried to go away to college for a while, but they were inseparable. So he ended up like moving in with her, and he was like, I'll just get a job. And they were so codependent that even though they were living in separate states, you know, in their own relationships older, they still would always call. And she right away just figured that night when he didn't call that, you know, he'd just fallen asleep. Well, he did. He just didn't wake up. And
Fuck
literally,
that.
I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh my God, I read this stuff like for horny shit or for a happy fix it. And literally Eddie is like, don't worry, I have his glasses. And she's like, make sure you don't put them, you know, on too tight to his face because, you know, it'll hurt his temples. And like, she literally is like so consumed with grief. And he just sits down with her and he's like, I know. And he goes, 37's too young to die. And I'm like, what? I'm turning 37. What the fuck? And then the last scene is her like a year later visiting his grave, and she's like just, you know, due to getting older, she needs readers. So she goes, Nancy doesn't even know that I have them, and she used the extra set that she had gotten for him. She put her prescription in it, and she goes, since we really start crying.
I need therapy from this.
Like, it's so bad. It's like beautifully written, but like heart-wrenching. She goes, since yours was the first, you trusted me to be the first face to wear your glasses with, I want to wear them for you. So she puts them on. Guys, literally, like I'm tearing up. I was like, no.
That didn't happen. Sorry.
That didn't exist. Beautiful, beautiful piece. But I was like, I have read a few where like out of nowhere they drop dead. And I'm like, no, fix it. It all needs to be fixed where they have their 6 nuggets and Eddie is with him and everything's happy. So that ripped my heart out. But luckily I fixed things because the story Whiskey, Cigarettes, and Other Things That Burn updated. And it was Spicy McSpicerson.
It was great.
It was hot as shit.
It's a really good fic. I'm liking it a lot.
I cannot wait till they update again. But those are kind of the two things I was reading. So I got my heart wrenched out, and then I was like, I need to read something smutty and hot. So that was a beautiful balance. But yeah, so now we need therapy. But have you been reading anything?
I can't remember if I talked about all of the A's stories that I read, like around my birthday.
I'm curious about them. How is it?
Because Genius Loci was like my favorite thing that I've ever read, I think. Like one of my favorite things that I've ever read. So I feel like that made me like, it put me into a little bit of a reading slump because I couldn't like find something that like hooked me as much as that did. And around the same time, I also read, which that one was the one where like, it was like, I think I did talk about it. It was like Practical Magic type vibes.
You mentioned it briefly. I actually was really interested in that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Honeymoon Phase was another one where Steve was supposed to get married and then he called off the wedding and then Steve and Eddie went to Italy together, which was supposed to be Steve's honeymoon. So that one was really sweet too.
I might put that next on my list. That sounds delightful.
Yeah, those are both really good and like really good like summertime stories. But other than that, I also have been keeping up with Whiskey, Cigarettes, and Other Things That Burn.
Hell yeah.
I am not completely caught up with Scorpio Skies. I keep meaning to like download the last couple chapters that have been released, so I need to do that.
Okay.
Haven't caught up with Prism.
You have to. We have lots to talk about.
I think. Oh, so Soda Burn. I was like trying to decide whether I was gonna read that because Jill, is making a podfic of it, but has not put out a new chapter in a while, and I really like it. And I was like thinking about just like reading the rest of the story. But I started like, and I haven't gotten like, I've only read the first couple chapters that I had already listened to.
How is it?
It's really good. It's like they're both bartenders in that one.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's fun. So that's kind of, yeah, that's all I got right now. Need to kind of get back into reading some Steady Fix.
I feel like I'll read more actually when I go back to work because usually when I have my morning coffee, that's my routine. So I got to get into a schedule.
Yeah, me too. I need to get back into like just the swing of things, and like that's kind of like my little escape when I get home from work kind of thing. So
love that.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll have some more fun stuff to talk about soon. And I don't know, I've just been kind of like having a little bit of like anxiety, but also excitement of like what like the fic is going to look like once season 5 comes out, because I'm sure people are going to be like inspired, but like, I don't know, it's not going to be the same. Like, are we gonna like get like, you know, season 5 as if Eddie's there, like rewrites like that? Like, what is it gonna look like? I'm so nervous but excited.
Exactly. It's kind of this unknown thing because we have read so many Fix-It Fics that we're almost like, well, what's it gonna look like, especially with the Steve character. So fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Well, I think that's good for today. And
sounds good.
We will be back and we will talk to you soon. And until then, catch you on the flip side.
Peace.